Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos. Family dog disappears. Turns up 7 years later with a strange companion. The Montez family never considered the worst-case scenarios when they adopted a little terrier named Corky. For them, any visions of the pup's future were happy and simple: tail wags, love, and afternoon walks. So they were devastated in 2009 when their beloved dog ran away. They thought they'd never see their friend again, until a phone call years later suggested Corky might still be out there, living with a really strange companion. The Montez family couldn't imagine life in Kansas without their wiry, scrappy 8-pound terrier Corky, who they adopted from a shelter in 2009. The pup, who has one ear that sticks up while the other points down, made their house a home. "We've been married 6 years with 2 kids, so we were ready for a dog," Kim Montez told the Kansas City Star. "We picked out Corky almost the minute we walked in. It felt as though the Montezes were supposed to meet Corky." Kim Montez, her husband Jimmy, and their kids gave the pup loads of love, and he returned the favor. So they were heartbroken when he managed to escape later that same year. They weren't even sure how it happened. The Montezes would let Corky out in their fenced-off backyard to run around and stretch his legs, as many pet owners do. But somehow Corky managed to escape, despite the fact that there was no opening in the enclosure. One evening, he was just gone. He had a collar on, and we didn't find anywhere in the yard where he had dug out, Kim Montez told the Kansas City Star. It was all too strange, but the Montezes were more so distracted by their sorrow. And that sorrow lasted about 6 months, as that's how long the family diligently searched the rural neighborhood for their missing pooch. After searching high and low and begging neighbors to keep their eyes peeled, still no Corky. "We thought maybe someone had taken him, or he'd gotten out somehow and he was hit and killed by a vehicle. But that was something we didn't tell the kids," Kim explained. They just hoped and prayed Corky would miraculously show up, but came to the realization that they'd likely never see him again. Life had to go on. Their little beige dog would live on in their memories. The Montez family moved to Fort Worth in 2011 and finally decided to adopt a new dog, Nina, in 2013. But changes kept coming. By 2015, Kim and Jimmy had 2 more children and adopted yet another pooch, this time a French bulldog named Duke. Their family was seemingly complete. But ever since Corky went missing, it always felt like there was a hole in the Montez clan. "We never forgot about Corky. If he was alive, we hoped he was okay," Kim said. But then the Montezes received a phone call from the Humane Society of North Texas claiming they had Corky. 7 years had passed since they last saw their terrier, so the Montezes figured the news was too good to be true. But since the Montezes were smart enough to microchip Corky at the time of his adoption, it likely was him. Kim, Jimmy, and their 4 kids ran to the car and zoomed straight to the shelter. They were going to get their fur baby back. What a wonderful way to wake up on Saturday morning. We never knew what had happened to him. We still had pictures of him in the house, but we never expected that call, Kim said, clearly ecstatic. "We saw him and said, 'That's him. He recognized us,'" Kim explained. But the shelter had something to tell the Montez family, as it didn't seem Corky would be willing to come back home alone. See, he made a new friend while living out on the streets. The Humane Society told the Montezes about Corky's journey roaming the streets of Fort Worth, and that's where he and another terrier named Captain were found together, both dehydrated and malnourished. Captain, a smaller terrier with coarse, silvery fur, had his left eye surgically removed. Together, the duo boasted 8 legs and 3 eyes. Corky and Captain's bond was unbreakable, so the Montez family members did what they had to do. "We adopted him too," Kim said. It looks like Corky really took care of Captain when they were out on the streets. He always lets Captain eat first, and he'll even stand guard to make sure none of our other dogs bother him, Jimmy told ABC News. As of 2016, the couple has 4 dogs and 4 kids. After being readopted, Corky got specifically attached to then 12-year-old Mason Montez. The interspecies pals must have missed each other dearly. For a family to be reunited with a lost pet after so many years is incredible. "It's quite rare," said Phil Gonzalez, a spokesman for the Humane Society. "What a blessed day it was. "We have so much love to share," Kim said. Everything finally felt complete, as if the Montezes were waiting for this moment all along. Perhaps the hole in their family unit had been filled with both Corky and Captain. The story of Corky, little Captain, and the Montezes is one laced with happiness, and perhaps miracles. But domesticated animals are wiser and more resilient than you think, as this story isn't the first of its kind. Please feel free to share it with your friends.